out here on VSIN, the Sports Betting Network.
Cashing Out continues here on VSIN with me, Joe Ceraulo, taking you through your Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Who better to do it alongside than our friend Tony Cutillo with us now on the Progressive Guest Line. Make sure you follow him at The Tony Cutillo Show. Check out The Tony Cutillo Show on YouTube. Check him out on Odds Shopper as well, where he drops his great picks like the, 7 plays he just gave out for the NBA on Wednesday. We'll say 7. Hopefully it's 7. I mean, if Lauri Markkanen plays, that's TBD. It might be 6 plays if Lauri Markkanen's ruled out, which Utah loves to do with their premier players as the tank is on full display out in Salt Lake City. Tony, I want to take it from the hardwood to the diamond, though, and look at the American League East with you. We've been previewing a different division every week. I love it. And we've already seen at the top of the AL East, the Yankees win total dropped 2 full games from 91.5 to 89.5 since the Garrett Cole news, Garrett Cole injury, Tommy John surgery, out a year and a half. What do you make of the Yankees? They're still the favorites to win the American League East. Are they your pick to win the division?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. As much as, that number dropping, I'm still going to go over that 89.5, and they're still going to be my favorite. Listen, I get it. They've lost Juan Soto, right? And the injuries to Garrett Cole, the injuries to their 2024 Rookie of the Year with Heal. Is he going to pitch? And when he pitches, is he going to be back to where he should be? Giancarlo Stanton goes down, right? Tons of injuries. But they did have a really busy offseason, right? They add Cody Bellinger, they add Paul Goldschmidt, they add Max Fried, and they get the all-star closer in Devin Williams, and they still have the 16th best major league ranked rookie in Hassan Dominguez. So listen, man, I'm going to be honest. I still think they have enough to win 90 games, especially with Mr. Judge still out there mashing the ball. So I just think that maybe the deep playoff run is not going to happen because of that pitching depth, but they're still going to win 90 games, in my opinion.
Tony, I'll tell you what, I could see this team still mustering up 90 wins, right? They played decent baseball. I mean, they were in second place most of the season before Cole's return last year, but they still played decent baseball without him. However, they had Juan Soto in the lineup. I think that, they had more pieces. They were a little deeper, even without Cole, for the first half of 2024. I don't see him winning the division. I want to know your thoughts because, and I made this pick before the Cole news, before the Giancarlo Stanton news that he has, quote, severe injuries, whatever that means, in both elbows.
That's crazy.
I picked the Red Sox to win the division. I bet them plus 425 on Valentine's Day. It was a which futures bet do you love the most segment that we did. I was all over the Red Sox back then. What do you make of this Red Sox team?
Love the Red Sox. Remember when we talked about the NL Central and I was all over the Reds, right? I'm all over the Red Sox. I love the Red Sox. I mean, listen, a lot of people were saying they took risks with Garrett Crochet and Walker Buehler. They're not risks to me. They needed a bump in that rotation. And then you break the bank for Alec Bregman, whether he works out or not, I don't know, but you still have Rafael Devers. You still have Jared Duran, who's emerged as a future MVP candidate. People are sleeping on the Boston Red Sox. I've been saying it for the last month. I'm going to continue to say it. They are my favorite to win a division. And the over on 86.5, there's no way they don't win 90 games, in my opinion. So that over to me is an easy play for 86.5.
Man, I am so with you. I said yesterday right here on Cashing Out, I said they were going to win 95 games. I actually love Boston, Tony, and I want your take on this. It was 11-1. Now it's plus 850 to be the 1 seed. What do you think about that?
Whoa, now that's listen, it's ballsy, but I like it. Right?
I mean, my logic is, to me, the 1 seed's coming out of the AL East. So whoever wins that division, and I think it will be the Red Sox, that's why I'm making the call.
Listen, man, it all depends on that rotation. If those 2 guys come in and pitch the way I'm sure you think they're capable of, and I think they're capable of, and this offense sparks the way we both think that it will, I don't see it as a problem as it happening. And listen, this team is, I just can't believe, Joe, that we're the only ones talking about this. Like, nobody is talking about the Boston Red Sox, and I just don't understand. I don't.
It's absolutely crazy to me, Tony. And you know, it stood out to me. We were profiling the Red Sox earlier in the week, and it's the depth. You know, that's my knock on the Yankees. The Yankees, even when Cole was healthy, this was my knock. I said they have Cole and they have Fried, great. In the bullpen, they have Devin Williams, great. I'm still not sold on Luke Weaver if he can replicate what he did a year ago in that setup role now this time around. In the lineup, they have Judge, great. Bellinger can be good. Stanton's got pop. There's a big drop-off after Judge, though, in that lineup. Boston is so much deeper. And you look at their starters, obviously you've got Crochet up top. Obviously Buehler was brought in to make some noise. But then they've got, you know, the guy who was their ace last year, Tanner Houck, is now being asked to be their number 3 or their number 4, right? Brian Bayo, who's got great potential behind him. They run 7-8 deep in terms of starters, so that if someone gets hurt or if someone maybe doesn't live up to expectations, they've got options. Whereas the Yankees, after Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, I find inconsistent. And, yes, you know, Luis Hill, he's also hurt. He also regressed majorly in the second half. Marcus Stroman's been battling with the team. Like, there's a lot of concerns.
No, you're right, man. And I think the reason why is, I mean, you think about it. You make a great point on Tanner Houck, right? A guy who goes from your ace to possibly your third starter in a rotation. The problem is, these aren't household names, so nobody's talking about them, right? They don't have the same, you know, mystique as a Max Fried or a Devin Williams or a Cody Bellinger. Nobody's really talking about them, but that's okay, man. I'm telling you that Bregman and that signing that went late, I think that could be the thing that takes him over the top as long as he produces.
Yeah, I am with you 1,000%. I'm also intrigued in this doubles market because between Bregman or Jarren Duran, I think the Red Sox have two guys who are very live to lead the league in doubles. And I'm pulling up the odds right now on DraftKings to lead the league in doubles. Actually, we're going to have to circle back to this because this is just showing for the opening day game. I'm trying to get into the futures market here. So we'll circle back to that one. Tony, I'm curious about another team, though. They actually have a higher win total than the Red Sox, and it makes no sense to me. Yeah. Baltimore. What do you think about them?
I'm so down on Baltimore, man. I don't understand it. Listen, I know they won 91 games last year, and people are going to say that they have a competitive roster, which they do. Listen, Adley Rutschman takes a step up. Gunnar Henderson blossomed into superstars. All they did was they added Tyler O'Neill and an over-aged Charlie Morton. But by the way, losing their ace in Corbin Burns. Like, I don't understand. And they lose Santander as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't see why people have an 87.5 number opposed to an 86.5 number with Boston. So I am 100% on the under when it comes to the Baltimore Orioles.
I'm with you, man. That's my lean, is the under. They've had trouble with their pitching staying healthy. Losing Burns was an absolute kick in the you-know-what. Losing Santander, I mean, I've got major concerns about that lineup after you got a great top two in Henderson and Rutschman and then a whole lot of what going in the heart of the lineup. They're asking a lot from the young guys, and to let a 40 home run guy walk, I don't know if Tyler O'Neill will be able to replicate the 30 home run season he just turned in for the Red Sox. So to me, O'Neill, he's got pop. I wouldn't call him a one-for-one replacement for Anthony Santander.
No, not at all, man. I don't think. Listen, I think him hitting 25 is a stretch this year, man. To be honest with you, so I don't see it at all. It's a big loss. Santander at 44 last year, man. That's a big loss.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. Tony, you look at the Blue Jays, they're projected for last place, 78.5 wins. Reports from early Tuesday, Max Scherzer hit 95 on the gun down in Florida in camp. I mean, you know, when I profiled this Blue Jays team, I said if the rotation, you know, if these guys all revert to who they were in 2019, they could be great, but they're old. What do you think Scherzer can do? 95? He hasn't hit that in a couple of years, I don't think.
It's crazy. Listen, I want the Phillies to sign Scherzer on a one-year deal, man. I still think he's got it. The problem I have with Toronto, to me, is just a lot of the adversity, right? Surrounding Vlad Jr. in a contract situation. Listen, they had 74 wins last year, and they did have injury, lack of production. I'm going under with this team. They also have a key loss of Jordan Romero that people don't speak about because he was hurt a little bit last year. Before that, in the last 3 years before that, he was a stud with 36 saves a year. So that's one thing. They signed Santander, but just too much adversity around this team, Joe. I'm not in one with Blue Jays.
Yeah, they lose Jordan Romano, but they replaced him with the Philadelphia Philly. Jeff Hoffman going to be closing things out for the Blue Jays. I'm going to break the Phillies down. Up next, the Phillies and the Nationals. We're breaking them down right here on Cashing Out. Tony, thanks so much for joining the show, man. Really appreciate your time.
You got it, man. See you next week.
Make sure you follow Tony on Twitter at the Tony Cutillo Show. Check out the Tony Cutillo Show and check out his great work over with Odd Shopper and SiriusXM Fantasy Radio as well. Up next, we're going to look at a team that's got the World Series in its sights.